All right. All right. All praises to the Most High, our Heavenly Mother, earthly Mother, Yahweh Shai, our brother. Big up to our family, Mishpachah, to the nation, those who endure and persevere to the end. Big up. All praises and honor to our forefathers and foremothers. All praises to the Most High. So, the verdict has been rendered. All hail, the verdict is in. Payment is now due from 83 for the pain and the sorrow of the just. There's several things tonight that we're going to go into real quick. I'm going to try to. Hopefully I can get through it. But there's a lot happening and a lot to it. First off, we need to take a step back and really send our angels of judgment to the Spaniards, to the Spanish. We need to really think about who it is that we are bringing a case against. Why? Because murder was the case, right? So who is it that has done this thing? We know it's been Rome, but Rome is also the Spaniards who sit high and think very low, who leave their seedlings all about us in tow, trying to tell us who we are, and they don't even know. These vassals and blassels of uneven, unyoked truths cannot be seen today as we rise, as they see their demise. This is the case against them. For me, I ask the Father to judge them, to judge these Spaniards who have taken upon themselves, albeit the Most High's will, to be done, to bring over and, destroy many of his sons. So, or I should say, although they did this thing, they forwarded the affliction too long. And these Spaniards are to blame, along with their Roman compadres. Now, that's in recent times. That's in recent times. Yes, we want justice from them. They got to pay, because that's your Psalms 83 today. They have to pay. However, Rome's got to pay, because Yahweh Shai needs and wants justice as well. See, it all stems from that. All of this stems from the way that Rome murdered Yahweh Shai, who they call, which is no real comparison, but who they say is Jesus. Okay. And so that's what we'll begin tonight. We'll begin at the case against Idumea, the Edomites. So I asked old trusty AI a question, and trusty AI chose to lie. chose to lie, and I caught his ass again. Okay, I caught him again. So I asked the question, and I gotta say it this way because they won't acknowledge who we are, nor will they acknowledge Yahweh Shai. Okay, so I gotta ask it the simple way. I gotta ask it the Edomite way. Does Jesus deserve justice for what the Romans did to him? That's what I asked. And AI's overview, AI, came back and it said, well, according to Christian belief, okay, time out, because we're going to unpack this statement here and then we're going to get into it. According to Christian belief, no, why would automatically, that it's cahoots and it's lies, automatically off top. Does Jesus deserve justice for what the Romans did to him? Well, according to Christian belief, Jesus, as the Son of God, did not deserve punishment for his actions, and his death on the cross was a sacrificial act to redeem. Now, watch this. Now, again, we're asking, does he deserve justice for what the Romans did? And they say, oh, and his death on the cross was a sacrificial act to redeem humanity's sins. Now, time out here, AI. I didn't ask you about humanity. And most all humanity didn't have nothing to do with the Romans murdering Jesus. And then you twist it and want to make it seem like, oh, well, yeah, the Romans murdered him, but they did it as a sacrifice for all of humanity's sins. No, now how does that make sense? So you murder somebody so that they can be sacrificed for everybody else's sin? No, you murdered him because you chose to murder him. You can't murder a person, then turn around and martyr them and say, you know what? So-and-so that I just murdered, he got murdered, but he wants us to be forgiven. Well, dead men tell no tales, right? Of course you're going to say that. Of course your narrative is that. But you know what? Yahweh Shai wants justice. He wants justice. And he's going to have it. Because Rome and Spaniards alike, you all are in the court right now. This is why y'all quiet. This is why you guys can't say nothing. This is why your mouths are shut. This is why you're over here struggling. This is why nothing that you are doing will work. Because you're in court right now. Just like you had us in court. We couldn't say nothing. We couldn't do nothing. We had to take it. We had to accept any verdict that was given to us. Now it's your turn. And this is happening in the spiritual realm. That's why we have 3 planetary alignments coming, or really 2 left. And that's a parade of planetary alignments. Why? The planets, the orbs, everybody is excited. They are parading around. The energy is parading around. The lands, the water, the moons, the suns, everything is parading around. Why? Because the people who murdered Yahweh Shai is in court. Is in court. And you can't be mad at us for just making sense of it. And it's funny because this all came about like since January 10th. We sat back and we manifested our blessings, Baruchings. And then we rebuked your common sense. Because your common sense was not common sense to us or for us or about us. It was uncommon sense for you then because it was an agenda behind it, but you named it common sense, which then tainted the rest of your entire legacy here on Turtle Island. Because your legacy's already been tainted with the murder of Yahweh Shai. And he will have justice, just like we will have justice, just like all of those that are just will have justice. So now you've rendered now that the verdict is rendered, now you got nothing to say. You want to sit up here and use your AI to try to trick us. Oh, well, and his death on the cross was a sacrificial act to redeem humanity's sins, meaning he did not need justice in the human sense for what the Romans did to him. Again, listen to the madness of these degenerate ass people. He did not need justice in the human sense for what the Romans did to him. His death was considered a divinely ordained act of love and forgiveness. So he don't need no justice in the minds of the Romans, in the minds of the Christians, in the minds of the whites. He don't need no justice. Same thing with us. Well, you don't think that, we need justice? Nah, y'all niggas don't need no justice. Justice? For what? Didn't we give you guys a nigga president? What the hell do you need justice for? Don't you guys have a good job? Can't you earn a living? You niggas always want something. You niggas always a victim. Well, isn't that coy or isn't that funny that the victimizer gets to indulge in giving out the justice to the victim and make a scenario, a narrative about it? Well, this is how the whites think. Well, the victor gets to tell the story. Well, okay, so the victor, the victorizer gets to make the story. Well, now it's the victim's turn. And that's why we ask for justice, not peace. No, not peace. No, not peace at all. Straight up, straight down justice. Christians believe that Jesus willingly gave his life to atone for the sins of humanity, making his death a necessary act for salvation, not an injustice that required retribution. Wow. So I guess from that point forward, they were okay with murdering all of us. And that would happen. See, you can see the mindset of these people. Because here's the logic. So if the Messiah was not murdered by Rome, would Rome still be Rome? Would Rome still be a superpower? Would America, would England, would Europeans be a superpower if they did not murder Yahweh Shah? And we know the answer. The answer is no, they wouldn't. So it was either murder him and be a superpower, right? Or not murder him and be subjected to him. And as we see and know over the eons of time that we have had with these demented, demonic people from Europe, most all, not all, most all, we already know that they are not just full people. We know this. We know they cannot accept the accountability that comes with a walk such as ours. We know that they cannot acknowledge their sins. So they created a narrative after murdering our Messiah for our salvation. For our salvation. Because again, he came for the lost sheep. He came to bring salvation to the lost sheep, to his people. And as he did such a thing and was doing a thing, there were these rogue, converted, Herodian, Romanized, romanticized Jewish people, elders, who conspired through sedition to destroy him with Rome. Because you already know that they were like, these Jewish people were like, yo, if you don't murder him now, Pontius, he will grow, and then he will take over all of Rome. Same thing they said with Moses. When he put the crown on his head, hey, you might want to kill this nigga now. Because he's going to take over everything. Just like Hoover. Well, we got to kill all of these niggas because we can't have a nigga Messiah. And everybody over here, oh, well, Jacob's trouble's coming again. What? Wait a minute. That don't sound like no trouble? Oh, that ain't no trouble there? So the murder of Yahweh Shai ain't trouble? That didn't put us in trouble? They murdered our Messiah. Ours, not theirs. Not theirs. He didn't come he didn't say, listen, I'm coming for the Gentiles. Oh, well, he stopped Paul on the road on Damascus, right? And Paul had this epiphany, right? And then he told Paul to go see Barnabas, right? And then Barnabas and Paul went to the Gentiles. Okay, fair enough. But he didn't, nowhere in that did he say he going to the heathen. Nowhere in that did he say go to the heathen. Matter of fact, he says not to go to the heathen, nor the Gentile. But all of a sudden, somehow, y'all done roped our brother after you murdered him, roped him into some madness, which is what y'all do all the time. And that's how we know who's who today, because the same MO, the same characteristics, the same fruits that you had then, you have now. That's why murder is the case that you heard. That's why, that is why you're in the courts of the Most High. That is why. And all your little vassals and these blassels and these other silly ass Negroes and anybody else that wants to come and talk about, no, Jesus, I'm telling you, shut up. You're in the courts of the Most High. You are not where we are. We are surpassed you. Our mentality, our character, our morality, our integrity has surpassed you. And if you don't believe me, look at the plight of your world today. You think anybody cares a good care about freaking the Pope? Freaking what's that whore's name? The faith preacher, the whore that slept with Benny Hinn? Are you kidding me? This is what you guys are doing. You guys are trying to play in our face again by trying to act like you all have morality. The morality has left the building because you're in the courts of the Most High and you don't get to tell us about morality or integrity. You don't. You do not. You do not. Paula White. Yes. Yes. Thank you, brother. oh, and look at that. Paula, the white Paula, we're supposed to acknowledge again. So the white Jesus, the white Paula, the white man, we're supposed to acknowledge. Get out of here. You guys are, it is so crazy today that everybody on the face of the planet has some deity that looks like them, but we don't. We have a white Jesus. Now, that's by design, as we know, but the Father told us that in Jubilees 25, I believe. He was telling us that he put all over every other nation a principality, but over Israel, he put none because that's his lot. We are his, but we were asleep, as we know. We were downtrodden, as we know. We were the ass, the tail, as we know. And now we're not, as we know. And we're not out here acting ignorant about it. No, but we're going to keep the record straight. We're not going to let the brutish man, the brutes, the whores, the connivers, the ignorant try to tell us who our Elohim is, who our creator is, who our ancient of days is, who our Messiah is, who our Holy Spirit is. Why in the filth flying, will we even accept that? That's ignorant. They don't, if I go to them and say, Jesus is black, they got a problem. So why should we listen to them? Why would they think for a minute we gives a filth flarn about what they talking about? See, that's the Kendrick Lamar thing. The Kendrick Lamar is about all it was at the end of the day was for people to realize that they ain't like us. And that wasn't even just the ninjas, because we already know that most of these ninjas ain't like us. That was for us. The Father did that for us, the remnant within the remnant, to ensure that we understood that they are not like us. Ain't nobody like us. Shit. These niggas out here ain't even like us. These camps out here ain't even like us. All of these people out here ain't like us. That's what that was about. White people, well, I don't understand what he's saying. Of course, you don't understand what we're saying. The camps, I don't get it. I mean, it wasn't entertaining. It wasn't. Well, of course, it's not entertaining, because we are not to be entertained, nor entertain anyone. This is not the time for that. This is our turn to rule. Rulership is not the court jester. We're not out here shucking and fucking jiving. What is this? It's our turn to rule. And you know what? We're going to rule righteously, because our zeal is going to force us to. If nothing else, our zeal alone. Because every time that the inclination comes up of doing the wrong thing, we're going to remember what these demons have done to us, what these wicked ass people have done to us. People may say, wow, they do that. No, to the remnant within the remnant, because again, we're not caring about everybody. That's what the problem is right now today. This is the dilemma. They're in court. The earth, the world, the mankind people are in court being judged, and they want us to care about their punishment. I'm sorry, I don't care. Well, anything that affects us affects you. No, it don't. No, it don't. No, it does not. It's not going to affect us in a way that it's going to affect them. Okay, well, will I have to pay $20 for eggs? Okay, then that just means I might need to not eat as many. Change my diet. Does that affect me? Yeah, minusculely, sure. But that's not affecting my salvation, my sanctification. It's not affecting me. They're on trial, not me. I'm just an attaché for Yahweh Shah, for the attorney. That's all. I'm just presenting information to hasten the demise of the unwise. That's all. That's all I'm here to do. I don't hate nobody, and I'm impartial. However, I do want justice, because it's fire in my bones that says I want justice. Every day that I get into that, that's why I can't do this all day, every day. I can't do this because it's too heavy. It's too great a burden, and it's light, but it's emotional. And as a Pisces, I'd rather do it when the Father says, now do this and do it all. Let it all out. Because it's your turn to rule. And you've got to get all of this emotion of the anger, right? Emotion of the joy, emotion of the uncaring out of you. Because when it comes time for the new man and new woman that we are seeking, that's when we are going to have a balance to it. We're going to be in balance, in harmony. But right now, we get to Bring the case to the Most High. Why? Because these people have been unjust. And not just to us, but to Yahweh Shai. That's what's nuts. That's what's crazy. That's what is crazy. So so just to bring more ammunition to the court against the Romans and those that proclaim to be in the revived Roman Empire and Roman themselves, that will be all of 83, vassals and blassels alike. So this was, I wanted to know what this guy Tacitus was saying about the murder of Jesus by the Romans. So I said the book of Tacitus regarding the murder of Jesus by the Romans, because that's just where I was today. So anyway, so this guy Tacitus, just so we can get some balance to it, the Roman historian Tacitus wrote about Jesus's execution. I mean, that don't sound like he died to me. Execution in his Annals, book 15, chapter 44. This page is one of the earliest non-Christian references to Jesus. Tacitus's reference is in the context of the Great Fire of Rome in 64 AD. There's Nero, who, remember, Nero burnt his place down in a fit of mental illness and blamed it on the Hebrews. Tacitus described the execution of Jesus by Pontius Pilate. The execution of Jesus by Pontius Pilate. Oh, I thought that the Jews killed him. Tacitus also mentions the existence of early Christians in Rome. Yeah, we don't care. Tacitus's references is considered authentic and of historical value. Whoop, whoop, whoop. There it is. Ain't no half stepping. You think that we coming with half-ass information like the heathen? No, we're using the heathen against the heathen. Tacitus's reference is considered authentic and of historical value. Dun, 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 dun. Significance. Scholars consider Tacitus' reference to be an independent Roman source that confirms the crucifixion of Jesus. It also helps establish that there were many Christians in Rome at the time. So the Hebrews were all over the place there, right? Other non-Christian writers, Tacitus was one of several non-Christian writers who mentioned Jesus in early Christianity, including Flavius, Josephus, Pliny the Younger, and Suetonius. All right. I just wanted to set the stage on that because we're going to go over here. And I'm just going to read this because I want everyone to understand what these people were doing and what it felt like, okay? And I'm not going to read the whole thing. Okay, so this is kind of going into what I'm trying to show here is the how the murder happened, what it looked like, and what they were doing to our people. Okay, such indeed were the precautions of human wisdom. The next thing was, okay, wait a second. Let me go back. Let me just get that sentence. Now that's all talking about Nero burning this place down. Okay, so we're going to start the next sentence. The next thing was to seek means of propitiating the gods, and recourse was had to the Sibylline books, by the direction of which prayers were offered to Vulcanus, Ceres, and Proserpina, Juno too, was entreated by the matrons, first in the capital, then on the nearest part of the coast, whence water was procured to sprinkle the fane and images of the goddess. Okay, so this is them in their idolatry. And there were sacred banquets and nightly vigils celebrated by married women, whores of Rome. But all human efforts, all the lavish gifts of the emperor, and the appropriations of the gods did not banish the sinister belief, Roman sinister belief, that the conflagration was the result of an order. Consequently, to get rid of the report, Nero fastened the guilty and inflicted the most exquisite tortures on a class hated for their abominations. Okay, so remember, we're talking about Nero now, because this kind of goes right into it. So Nero was the one who kind of began these crucifixions, this torturous, demeaning of humanity, okay, in regards to our people, okay, in regards to our people. So he had told these people to pray and dance half naked and have orgies and all this stuff to these gods while Rome was burning. So that's what it's saying. And there were sacred banquets and nightly vigils celebrated by married women. But all human efforts, all the lavish gifts of the emperor, and the propitiations of the gods did not banish the sinister belief that the conflagration was the result of an order. Whose order? Nero's order. Consequently, to get rid of the report, Nero fastened the guilt and inflicted the most exquisite tortures on a class hated for their abominations. Their abominations was how we lived, who we were, who we worshiped, how we worshiped, what they saw us do. Okay, in our heritage, they hated us for no apparent reason. Same as today. Hated for their abominations, called Christians. They add this Christians in here, called Hebrews by the populace. Christians, from whom the name had its origin, suffered the extreme penalty during the reign of Tiberius at the hands of one of our procurators, Pontius Pilate. So, Pilate washed his hands of it. He didn't have anything to do with it. Pontius was out there murdering our people regardless. He was already a murderer. And just so he washed his hands on the Messiah does not take the blood off of his hands. So no, he was not an innocent man. And a most mischievous superstition, thus checked for the moment, again broke out not only in Judea, the first source of the evil, but even in Rome, where all things hideous and shameful, watch this, Rome, where all things hideous and shameful from every part of the world find their center and become popular. What am I reading? Tacitus, the Annals, chapter 15. The guy who is, they all accept him as a historian of value. So he's telling you, Rome was a place of hideous and shameful, from where all things hideous and shameful from every part of the world find their center. So all the filth and wickedness ended up in Rome, because Rome liked it. They thought that was cool to see a man go into another man, to see somebody just do all types of beasts. Just wickedness. And become popular. Oh, pop music. Accordingly, an arrest was first made of all who pleaded guilty. That's us, because we had to plead guilty. Then, upon their information, an immense multitude was convicted. Imagine that. Mockery of every sort was added to their deaths. Right. They doo-dooed on our death. After they murdered us, they doo-dooed on us. They did everything vile on us. Mockery of every sort was added to their deaths, covered with the skins of beasts. They were torn by dogs and perished, or were nailed to crosses, or were doomed to the flames and burnt to serve as a nightly illumination when daylight had expired. I mean, if you can't see that that's what they did to us, you guys, you're crazy. If you can't see the parallelism of what Rome was doing then to what the revived Roman Empire is doing today, you're crazy. That's why we take you straight. We bypass your unjust weights, your unjust courts, and we go straight to the courts of the Most High. We plead our case there. Hold on. We plead our case there. Hold on. So we plead our case in the courts of the Most High. And this is why the Most High said, I will also gather all nations, because he's done. He's about to render a verdict. He's about to render a verdict at this point. See, everything else has gone on. Rome has done its filth. Babylon's system has done its deviousness. The world has all come against his people. Righteousness is buried. But now the Father has raised his people up, made his people with his voice, with his soul, with his spirit, with his mind, to say, I'm taking you to the courts of the Most High. He heard us. He heard our case. That's the beauty. He heard our case, finally. Finally. And I will also gather all nations and will bring them down into the valley of Jehoshaphat and will plead with them there for my people and for my heritage. These are key things. People and heritage are key things. People is his people. Oh, that's everybody. The hell it is. That's his people, his lot. And for my heritage, that's our magic. That's what our power, that's our connection. That's who we are. He says it. And for my heritage, Israel, the whole house thereof, whom Rome have scattered among the nations and parted my land. Don't forget, parted my land. Oh, well, we're going to change this boundary here. We're going to say that this is that. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Parted, he might as well say, and parted my promised land that I gave to my people. So this is another rendering of the verdict. That's why these people ain't nowhere to run to, ain't nowhere to hide. Ain't nowhere to run to, ain't nowhere to hide. The verdict is in. All hail. The Most High's verdict is in. Everything is dancing around us. You can see it. There's a volcano in Mexico shooting off. Why would it be shooting off? It's excited. All these things that are happening, these signs and wonders are for excitement that the Father has rendered a verdict against the wicked. And they want to act like Kendrick Lamar. You niggas ain't like us. They want to act like, oh, well, Elon Musk is going to be able to do. He ain't going to do shit. Trump ain't going to do shit. Everybody got buyer's remorse today. Eggs is $20. Can't nobody feed themselves. What they gonna be doing? Running around eating my cat? Who's it? Parallelism, parallelism, parallelism. Who is really gonna be eating the dogs and the cats? Is it gonna be the Haitians or is it gonna be the Romans? That's why we take them to the courts of the Most High, because we're tired of watching their lies. We tired of watching their lies because they don't care about us and they ain't like us and we don't care. Ridiculous. These people. Well, we're just going to murder him. And then we're going to say that, we're going to create this whole religion about it. And we're going to say, he died for our sins. And we're going to create this other thing. And we're going to create everything on the left-hand side and make sure that you guys can't do nothing on the right-hand side. We're going to take the standard of righteousness away and we're going to make it our way. And if you don't like it, you're going to die. That's what the whole history has been. Oh no, I'm telling you, you guys are so mean and you guys are so racist and so rough on us. We didn't have anything to do with it. It doesn't matter whether you had something to do with it or not. You are not condemning what your people have done. If you do not condemn what your people have done, you are therefore by default complicit. And this goes out to the nation so that you all know you're in court, niggas. We ain't in court. We're good. And you camps that want to attache them, you in court too. All you other people, you blastos that want to be in court with them, you in court on the defense side too. You are on their side too. You will be judged with them. Don't be looking at us. I don't care about your antics. If you believe that Jesus died for someone's sins, you're going down with them. You're going down with the victimizer, the victorizer, the tormentor, Romans. Hold on, let me get to the. So the other piece of this question, does Jesus deserve justice for what the Romans did to him? Forgiveness and grace. A core tenet of Christianity, Christian sanity, is that God offers grace and forgiveness to humanity through Jesus' sacrifice, which supersedes the idea of earthly justice. Okay, let's unpack it real quick. So the core tenet of Christian sanity is that God offers grace. Wait, I thought the core tenet of Christian sanity is that Jesus is God. So then how is God offers grace and forgiveness to humanity through Jesus' sacrifice? How is that? What type of madness is afoot here? What type of mental illness is afoot here? What type of mental illness has been ruling here? Which supersedes the idea of earthly justice. Now, you think our Messiah, who came in the physical, wanted to be murdered, wanted to be tortured, wanted to be burned, wanted to be torn apart by dogs, wanted to have bee skin sitting on him. For who? For the sins of Rome? That's what you're trying to tell me? So the Romans murder him so that he can forgive them? What type of madness is this? And yes, he deserves earthly justice. And he will have earthly justice. Why is that? Because he said he will. He's going to come back. And there's going to be blood up to the horse's bridle. After doing the wood, destroying the nations. Why would the whole earth be mourning when he comes back? Why? I'm sorry. Why would all the nations be mourning when he comes back? Because the earth will be in rejoice. They will be rejoicing. The earth, the moon, the sun, the land, the water, the sky, the air will all be rejoicing. The nation, the whole house thereof of Israel will be rejoicing when he comes back. Don't get it twisted. We are not part of the nations. That's why they took out Jubilees, because Jubilees clearly distinguishes whose principality is with who and who is not. So if Israel, true Israel, real Israel, is under the father's rule, right? If Israel is under the father's rule, why would and Yahushua is from Israel, right? And he comes back to lean justice, to impose righteous justice onto the nations. Why would Israel be upset? See, this is what's going on today. Common sense is prevailing. And because they have been under a non-commonsensical reality, when they get to the courts, they get blown up. The case is all hell. We have won. It has been heralded that we have won. That's what all this is about. And I know I'm just talking. Because I can only believe that those that have been in this walk, that are doing the due diligence, already know this. And you know what? Rightfully so. You should know this. So take this as a reiteration. But to the nations who don't know this, take this as a warning. You better get to cleaving for or against. You better make a decision for or against. Because from where I sit, your whole nation, like Nero's, is burning. Is burning. Is burning. Render a verdict is a legal term that means to officially declare a decision or judgment in a court case. It can also refer to the process by which a jury or judge reaches a decision. First Kings 17. And it came to pass when Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, Art thou he that troubleth Israel? No. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but I'm going to read a couple verses, because this is where we are. This is what they doing. And it came to pass in this day of ours, Ahab saw Elijah, that Ahab said unto him, Art thou he that troubleth Israel? And he answered, I have not troubled Israel, but thou and thy father's house, in that ye have forsaken the commandments of Yahushua, of the Most High, and thou hast followed Baal. And First Kings is a very good one to read. This is when Elijah, put the wood to these fools, and he said, this is when he was cutting up wood. They were cutting up wood and they were creating a fire. He said, and this is 33, and he put the wood in order and cut the bullock in pieces and laid him on the wood and said, fill 4 barrels with water and pour it on the burnt sacrifice and on the wood. And he said, do it a second time. And they did it in the second time. And he said, do it the third time. And they did it the third time. And the water ran around about the altar, and he filled the trench also with water. This is what we're doing. We're mocking these fools' power. They want to act like that's Kendrick Lamar. He went out there and was like, yo, they ain't like us. He dissed Drake. He dissed them. He dissed all of them in their face. I was watching on TikTok. They were all like, that people were taking videos of their families watching the Super Bowl, the halftime thing, Kendrick, and they were all perplexed. What the hell is he saying? What is going on? What is this? In your face, nigga. That's what he said. In your face. You ain't like us. And we don't give a about it. Nigga. Now what? Oh, I don't like it. I just don't understand it. It's not a time for political. Yes, it is. It's always a time for political banter. Why? Because you all don't want it ever to be a time for our political stances. And that goes to Yahweh Shai. Was he cool with the political establishment? Hell no. No. He was, every chance he got, he was going against the political institution of Rome. Did Rome like him? No. Let me see. Did I keep that up? See if I can get it real quick. Nah, I ain't gonna be able to get it. It's just a lot going on. Just a lot happening. So yeah, that's why I also rejoice not against me, O mine enemy. When I fall, I shall arise. That's what we're doing. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh Shai shall be a light unto me. That's what's going on. Why? Because it's our turn. None of these fools can hold our coat. None of them can step to us. And we're not out here cursing them out, ranting and raving. We just out here going about our business. Somebody asks a question, we give an answer. If they want to know, we give an answer. If they don't want to know, we don't give an answer. We're not on the street corners yelling and screaming about Esau, Esau, Esau. We already know Esau's a demon. The hell are we going to sit on the corner for in the cold or the heat in some Ultraman suit talking shit? Stupid. That's not what the Father wanted. That's not what he wants from me. It's not what he wants from me. And apparently, not many of them, because I don't see a lot of them out here in the streets no more, like I did pre-2019. See what I'm saying? And all they talking about is the same talking points as Rome. Same Roman talking points. Oh, well, you niggas isn't going to go through Jacob's trouble and it's going to be martial law. Why would we have to go back through trouble? Why are we going to go through trouble when we've already been in trouble and coming out of trouble? It would be stupid, just like a great stupor and within a great delusion, to go back into trouble when you out of trouble. Now, if you want to manifest trouble, so be it. Be in trouble. Camps, be in trouble. Christians, be in trouble. Muslims, Hindus, Buddhists alike. But what's going to happen is you're going to get all our shit back before you go into trouble. Best believe that. All of it. Every bit of it. And you're going to get off your lands. You're going to go back to your lands. And you're going to say to yourselves, out loud, mind you, that you have inherited lies from your people. And we ain't going to care. Because you're not like us. You're just not. You don't move. Your fruits stink. Your fruits are rotten. We're over here trying to cultivate. We are the wheat. You are the tares. We are the ones with talent. You have nothing. Every one of you want to be like us. The Japanese, the Asians want to be like us. And then their descendants over here want to talk shit about us. The Africans want to be like us, but they want to talk shit about us. The whites want to be like us. They want to talk shit about us. Everybody, the Indo-Indians, the Jewish, everybody want to be us. So you know what? Time out. Time out. Since everybody want to be us, I'm just going to hold on to what's mine. Let me hold on to what's mine. And let me get my shit back. Because obviously, if it's all about me, then let it be about me. I don't need you on my coattails. I don't need you over here telling me what to do. I don't need to listen to you and your little G-O-D. I don't need you. I don't need you. I don't need your systems. I don't need your educations. I don't need your politics, your politricks. I don't need your agendas, your secret combinations. I don't need you. I don't need your protection. I don't need you. Since you want to be like me, I'm taking everything back. And you'll be naked as you were in the beginning. Since you want to take everything from me and then shit on me, literally, and think I'm supposed to be okay with it. Oh, you're just angry. I ain't angry. I already know I have won. There's no anger in me. This is matter of fact zeal. The problem is you've never heard us before because you made us mute. Now we're no longer mute. Now you're going to hear us from the mountaintops to your wicked ass cathedrals. You're going to hear our voice. You're going to hear our zeal. You're going to feel our power. You're going to know who is the Most High's people. That's what you're going to about. That's what you know, and that's what you're going to feel again. That is the verdict against you. Oh, well, Jesus, he died for our sins, and he listen. And Yahushua answered, my kingdom is not of this world. If my kingdom were of this world at that time, then would my servants fight, that I should not be delivered to the Jews and the Romans. But now is my kingdom not from hence. So I thought all the Jews killed. I thought every Jew, every Judean, and 10 and a half tribe Israelite all around the world at that time wanted Yahushua dead. It's the most ridiculous concept that I cannot believe has been entertained. Cannot believe it. Wait a minute. What is this? This is Matthew 27. Matthew 27:27. Then the soldiers of the governor took Yahushua into the common hall and gathered unto him the whole band of soldiers. So they went round about him. They and they're Romans, so they probably were touching him and fondling him and doing other things because they're degenerate. And they stripped him. Voila. Voila. And put on him a scarlet robe. Try to emasculate the brother. And when they had platted a crown of thorns, they put it on his head. Who did this again? The Romans. And a reed in his right hand. And they bowed the knee before him and mocked him, saying, Hail, King of the Jews. And they spit upon him and took the reed and smote him on the head and spit upon him, probably dooted on him, probably peed on him, because they're filthy beings. Because it is a filthy individual who will spit on somebody. There is nothing else. If you will spit on somebody, you will do other things to that person. And how do we know this? Because look at the society today. Look at their fascination with fetishes. And after that, they had mocked him. They took the robe off from him and put his own raiment on him and led him away to crucify him. Oh, well, they just did that because they were mocking him. Of course, the Romans wrote this. This is a transliteration of a Roman word. So they took out everything. And, I was talking to Brother Sly about this earlier. This is probably, so you got Mark, what is it? What you got? You got Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. Those are all the disciples that spoke of Yahweh Shai and how he was treated by the Romans. The other disciples that they didn't add in talked about strictly what the Romans did to him. Strictly what the Romans did to him and all the others. Because if they were doing this to him, you can best believe, and again, not everybody was against our brother. So you know that people were in the streets crying and wailing and gnashing of teeth. Parallelism. So at the same time that they were doing this to him, they were doing it to others. Because this is the type of people we have been dealing with. I shouldn't even say people. This is the type of beings we have been dealing with. And they can be like, oh, this guy Moriel, he's just so mean. He's just so hateful. He just comes against us in such a way that I can't understand why he's kill over already. 988 yourselves. Because what's coming for you is going to be I'm not even going to tell you. That's not for me to say. Let the Father have his way. His will be done. And as they came out, they found a man, Cyrene Simon by name. Him they compelled to bear his cross. So this guy, so they took our brother after. And then, notice they didn't say nothing about beating him. They beat him half to death already. All right. Then they brought him out. He's probably fallen over. He can't walk, eyes shut, bloodied mouth, no teeth, bruised and battered, broken ribs, broken leg. Probably fingers are broken. But he wanted this. He wanted this to happen for humanity's sins. What? They gave him vinegar to drink mingled with gall. Bitterness, bile, spleen, malice, spite, spitefulness, malignity, venom, vitriol, poison, malevolence, virulence, nastiness, animosity, antipathy, hostility, enmity, bad blood, ill feeling, ill will, animus, caller. So let's go back. They gave him vinegar. And when he tasted when he had tasted thereof, he would not drink. So with gall they did to him. Remember, gall. And I'm reading it properly. I don't care. Oh, you can't take away. You've already taken away and added to. So stop with the madness. Then they did gall to him. Then they poisoned him. Then they did violence to him. Then they were nasty to him. Then they had animosity towards him. They had antipathy towards him. They were hostile towards him. They had enmity to him. They had bad blood. They had ill feeling. They had ill will. They had animus. This is what you have when you murder. Murder, she wrote. Murder, they wrote. No, no, no. This is what happens. You can't be cool and nice when you murdering somebody. This ain't Hollywood. This is what they did to him, to our brother, and they've been doing it to us ever since. And you think that today we supposed to care about the pain that these niggas got today? Are you? Miss me with that. Miss me with the empathy, the sympathy. Miss me with it. For most all of them. Not all, because there are some that are our brethren and our sisters that may look like them, that may resemble them, yet their actions are nothing like them. Their fruits are nothing like them. And to them, I say, thank you. Be with us. Come with us, because we are your protection. Don't miss that. You get on this ark or you get left. And that's, I mean, you know, you could say what you want. You could, oh, well, I'll go make a video going against Brother Moriarty. Well, do it. Why don't you just come on and just come on? I mean, really, we ain't got to use no scriptures. We ain't got to use no history. We just got to use common sense. Common sense. Is it common sense that these fools today are somehow moral with integrity when their whole fucking world is going to hell? Where's your case? They're wearing me out with their madness. They're wearing me out with their madness. Because all hell, the verdict is in. Payment is now due from 83 for the pain and the sorrow of the just. And they crucified him and parted his garments, casting lots, that it may be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet. They parted my garments among them, and upon my vesture did they cast lots. And sitting down, they washed him there, and set up over his head his accusation, accuser of the brethren, written, this is Jesus, the King of the Jews. Let's skip all that. And then these likewise also the chief priests, because this ain't everybody. Again, the majority of Israel, of the Judeans were there upset. But likewise also, and saying, thou that destroyeth the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself, nigga. If thou be the Son of God, come down from that cross. Likewise, also the chief priests mocking him with the scribes and the elders said, because who said that was the Romans. Now, likewise, the chief priests mocking him with the scribes and elders said, he saved others. Himself he cannot save. If he be the King of Israel, let him now come down from the cross and we will believe him. He trusted in God, let him deliver him now, if he will have him. For he said, I am the Son of God. The thieves also, which were crucified with them, cast the same in his teeth. Now, from the 6th hour, there was darkness all over the land until the 9th hour. And about the 9th hour, Jesus cried, Yahushua cried with a loud voice, saying, Ele, Ele, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me? Some of them that stood there when they heard that said, this man calleth for Elias. And straightway one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on the reed and gave him to drink. The rest said, let us see whether Elias will come to save him. Yahushua, when he cried again with a loud voice, yielded up the spirit. And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in twain from the top to the bottom, and the earth did quake, and the rocks rent, and the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto many. Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Yahushua saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, truly, this was the Son of God. So as typically, these heathen have to see it. So you're about to get your chance to see your demise as we rise, heathens. You're going to get your opportunity to say, you know what? They are the people of God. You're going to get your opportunity. And we're going to make sure of it. Because the case against you is great. You do not accept accountability for your history, for your forefathers, when surely they're not my forefathers. Surely I didn't hang myself. Surely I didn't enslave myself. You don't allow things to be in balance. Everything's out of order. You're lawless. Now you want to talk about, oh, we got to get to 10 commandments. We got to figure out, everybody. I mean, Paul said, blah, blah, blah. Who the hell is Paul? What Paul, when the day comes for you to meet your moment of truth, Paul's going to be like, I ain't know him either. Yahushua going to be like, I ain't know him. That's what's going on now in the courts of the Most High. Nobody is acknowledging you. No one is taking ownership of the heathen. Hence why their whole society is crumbling down. Not one of the principalities ain't even taking ownership. They're like, yo, I'm out. I know you told me that I'm over these people, but I'm done with them because I see where this is going. And all our prophets of old are going, I ain't know none of these people. Please, Father, judge them. I dare say saints, but our ancestors are sitting up there in the galley, just excited and giddy as can be. And how do I know all this? Because it's happening here. And I can see it. And if you don't believe me, just wait. Just wait. Once the last parade of planets occurs, the verdict is rendered, justice is had, the earth will rejoice and shake its foundation, shake these heathens up off it. Mark my words, it's going to be a hell of a time for these people come March, the Ides of March. All right, so let me see. And again, we need to ensure that these Spanish, as we're sending our angels out, as we're praying, as we're bringing the case to the Most High, we need to make sure that we are going against these Spaniards too. Because today, they are still mistreating our brethren over there in Spain. Today. And they have left their legacy is these vassals who swear up and down that they are somebody speaking Spanish in America. If you speak in Spanish in America, you are definitely a vassal. That's the Spanish. That's the Pacific slave trade. All of y'all need to look that up. Not the remnant within the remnant, because they already know. But the whole world needs to check themselves and go check the Spanish trans-Pacific slave trade with the galleons. There's your slave ships, the galleons. Fools out here talking about, oh, well, the Europeans could make these slave ships. Are you mad? The English and the French and the Dutch, they didn't make any slave ships. They made boats, sailboats, the galleons. And it's interesting because, again, that's what's it called? That is, what's that movie? Johnny Depp's movie. I think the last one they did, or it might be the second to last one, had the galleons, and that's a massive ship in relation to these the Pearl, the Pearl Johnny ship, massive. So yeah, this is the time that we rejoice. This is the time that we pray hard against our enemies. It's the time that we rejoice at the fall of our enemies. Right? Don't let anybody tell you that that's wrong to do, because that's our salvation. That's how we grow. That's how we move. We can't grow and move if we can't do what we need to do, what we're supposed to do, if they're doing it, if they're in our place. Because if it's left up to them, and watch this, if it's left up to them, they would make America great again when you and I, when our people, when the Hebrews were asleep, and they could do what they wanted to do. Any old way, any old time. So pray hard. Pray hard. Put all your energy in February for this month, going into the 28th, put all your energy into the end of their reign, into justice for just us, into judgment of the nations. And never forget to be thankful for it. Because what you see today is what all of our ancestors been looking for. And if you give that up to be part of Psalms 83 with the Blassels and the Vassals, I'm shaking my head. It won't end well. So with that, family, that's all I got. Could go on, but I shout not. It is time for rest. This one, maybe we'll do another version of it, another part 2. This takes a lot out of me because it's emotional. You know, you want payment. You want the big payback. Not for me, not for us, but for Yahweh Shai. Look how they did that man. And then lied on him. Made a whole civilization, a whole religion out of his murder. That is diabolical and dastardly. That needs to be eradicated, erased. That needs to be destroyed. These people need to pay. And they will, and they are. So all praise to the Most High, fam. Mishpachah, all praises. Thank you for being here. Maybe went on a little longer than anticipated, but thank you very much. Just remember, rejoice not against me, O my enemy, When I fall, I shall arise. When I sit in darkness, Yahweh Shai shall be a light unto me. All praises to the Most High. All praises. Shalom.